What's up, motherfuckers? I am back with another video and I have a story to tell. Yeah. So, on this platform, I have talked about emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and accountability, but I've never really called myself out. And I think it's time I do that. So, back in 2015, I was in a little bit of a situation. So from 2009 to 2015, June 2015, I was in the military. The Army, to be exact. I say who? That's gonna come off as very cringe later on, but fuck it. And at the tail end of 2014, maybe the beginning of 2015, I got in a little bit of a messy situation. It was completely due to my own negligence and ignorance and stupidity. My dumb ass got caught smoking weed by the military. So they went through the whole process of kicking me out. They actually gave me another chance too. I didn't know they were giving me another chance to like prove myself or whatever. So I kept smoking weed or whatever, and I was under the assumption that I was getting kicked out anyway. But I kept on smoking. They pissed at me for a second time, got caught again. They were like, all right, you ain't worth shit, so we're kicking you out. So while they were going through the process of kicking me out, I was placed on extra duty. And if you've been in the military, you know exactly how much extra duty sucks. So while I was on extra duty, doing all kinds of dumb shit, whether it be flipping rocks to the other side or doing maintenance on trucks that are clearly broken down and will never be operable again, I ended up meeting an individual that would basically change my life. So after meeting this individual, who was a woman, we ended up getting very, very close, very, very fast. Very, very fast. And if you've been in the military, you know how fast relationships can develop. So our relationship developed pretty fast. So fast to the point that she invited me to stay at her place because I was getting kicked out and I had nowhere else to go at the time. But she was also getting deployed to Korea at the same time. So I move into her crib. Things are going great. She ends up leaving maybe like 2 weeks after I move in, I think. And I get a weird text message about a month in. And the text was, I know me and you haven't been together for a very long time, and I'm out in Korea, you're out in Texas, so I'm going to give you a green light to pretty much do what you want to do. Just don't get nobody pregnant and don't get no STDs. Simple, right? But at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to sleep with anybody else. I'll, wait for you to come back. And I was pretty, dead set on that. But in my dumb ass 25-year-old mind, my insecurities and negative thoughts came into play pretty fucking heavy. Like, why would you give me the green light unless you yourself wanted a green light? So a couple of days go by and I'm on Facebook and I come across a picture of a woman that I used to deal with back in Washington State. And she was looking damn fine too. So I messaged her saying that, yo, your titties are tittying today or something like that. And for reasons I still do not know why, my girlfriend at the time had access to my Facebook. She flipped out. She went in. Yeah, pretty much telling me that I need to get the fuck out of her house and I ain't shit and blah, blah, blah. So I had to finesse that situation so I would continue to have a place to stay. Time goes by, maybe a couple of weeks. That situation pretty much is swept under the rug. And she sends me another text message. And this text message is pretty much admitting that she had slept with somebody while she was in Korea. So she tells me that she hooked up with somebody, and it wasn't a guy, it was a girl. And I knew this girl too. She was like one of those young MA types, like not feminine at all. She goes on to tell me the details about how they hooked up and how everything went down, and says like all they did was like eat each other out. I'm like, come on now. This is a young MA type of lesbian. They don't get eaten out. She brought her strap to Korea. I know she brought her strap to Korea. Like, come on now. Don't play me like I'm stupid. So what I did with that information is I took that, mixed it with my insecurities and my negative thoughts, and I went out and slept with somebody else. And looking back, I realized that she was being transparent with me, full blown transparent. Things that I look for in a relationship. I like transparency. But at the time, my 25-year-old mind, I wasn't on that level of evolution just yet. So time goes on, a couple more weeks go by, and we're having other issues, with rent, electricity, the water bill, stuff like that. Things that I definitely should have been on top of, but I was just lacking in being just full blown lazy. I'll admit that. But things kind of got a lot worse around October, November ish, because one of my best friends hit me up telling me that he needs a place to stay. So my boy tells me that he was going through some things up in New York, and he was pretty much leaving his wife, and he had to come to Texas to have a restart. So I contact my girlfriend at the time, tell her the situation, and she gave me the okay for him to move in. Here's where shit gets sticky. About a day before he moves in, he informs me that him and his wife patched things up and they're both coming. So I have two people coming into the household. No big deal, right? Should be simple. But me and his wife have history. So I met his wife about a year before I met him. And I think we had like one or two flings. It never got anything past that, nothing ever serious. It was just what it was. Fast forward, they meet up and end up getting married. And anybody that's been in the military longer than a minute knows that marriages in the military are never based on love. It's just to get out of the barracks and get more money in your paychecks. That's basically it. So that's what their marriage started as. It was just money. And eventually they ended up falling for each other in a very beautiful way. Mind you, my girl pretty much knew all of this information from like the first time me and her started talking. Like we were completely transparent about everything. I told her everything about my life. She told me everything about her life. And so she knows about me and my best friend's wife hooking up in the past. So rightfully so, she did not feel comfortable with a woman living in her house that has hooked up with her current boyfriend. At the time, I'm like, the fuck does that matter? She's literally here with her husband, who is also my best friend. Why are you tripping about it? Like, it didn't make any sense to me at the time. But things go on, time passes, and of course, I finessed that situation also to allow them to stay. But things continue to get messy between me and her. Like, with me just staying there, the light bill was a little bit less, the water bill wasn't that high. I wasn't really hurting for money all that much, but when they moved in, I helped them out a little bit. I had to, they didn't have a job just yet. They were trying to get back on their feet, so I ended up, helping them out, and I had to ask money from her to like pay for some of the bills and stuff like that. And it was pretty taxing. It was emotionally taxing and financially taxing, of course, on her part, and a little bit on mine. Eventually, all that shit became a little too taxing for the both of us, and it came to the point where she really wanted me out the house, them and me, to be gone. Like, she really wanted us out the fucking house. It got to the point where I had to be the one to step up and be like, hey, I will leave if they can stay. If they continue to pay rent and pay bills and stuff like that, I will leave if they can stay, because they're not from here. They have nowhere to go. They don't know anybody but me out here. So allow them to stay. I'll bounce out of respect, and yeah, I'll get out your hair as long as they have a place to stay. All right, part 2 about to come soon.